ready to get serious about building content sites and building a profitable business online? Welcome to the Niche Website Builders Podcast. We bring you the latest field-tested tips, tricks, and strategies for building a profitable online asset. We interview industry experts, share customer success stories, and reveal our own experiences working on hundreds of sites to inspire and motivate you to make something happen. Let's do this.
Hi, today I have on the show with me a great guest. His name is Shaun Mars. He's been an affiliate marketer for a long time. He started way back years ago doing a different type of affiliate marketing than what we're doing now. He was doing cost per lead or cost per acquisition. In today's episode, we talked to him about his growing website portfolio. It's now over 6 figures. And we also have a very interesting discussion about zero search volume keywords and how he's approaching that topic. So it's all interesting stuff. I hope you enjoy the episode. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. We're going to get into it.
This episode is brought to you by Niche Website Builders, an agency dedicated to helping people just like you build profitable content sites. Niche Website Builders are the hands-off content site marketing agency you always wished existed. It's run by content site marketers for content site marketers, and they help both investors and individuals alike build profitable online properties. They provide a fully outsourced approach to content creation, link building, and done-for-you website builds, the same approach they use on their own 6-figure portfolios. For example, their content packages come with a proprietary keyword research process, are written by in-house native English speakers, formatted using templates proven to convert, and uploaded to WordPress with affiliate links added so that all you need to do is hit the publish button. Check them out at nichewebsite.builders/show. That's nichewebsite.builders/show and fill out the form to get coupon codes for 10% more content or a 10% discount on links with your first order sent right to your inbox.
Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of the Niche Website Builder podcast and YouTube channel. I'm your host, Adam Smith, and today I'm going to be talking to an awesome guest we have on. His name is Shaun Mars. He's been involved in the affiliate marketing world for a long time. Actually remember reading lots of his posts and lots of his follow-alongs on Black Hat Worlds a couple of years back. So even before I kind of knew Shaun the way I did now, I knew him through his other posts. He now runs a YouTube channel and he has his own website where he basically runs his own portfolio of websites, and he's such an open book. He shares pretty much everything that he does in terms of building sites, monetizing, selling. And today we are actually going to talk about a couple of things, but two of the main things we'll talk about are two of his recent case studies. So, Shaun, how are you? How's things?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Just sick of lockdown, but using it as a way to just keep working on my sites and growing my portfolio out. But can't wait to be able to go outside again and things go back to normal.
Yeah, I mean, the vaccine now is hopefully like some light at the end of the tunnel, but I don't know.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, we actually had a holiday cancelled recently, so we were meant to go away end of March as a Christmas present for my wife, but
yeah,
I was cancelled.
Oh man,
didn't want to rebook it.
Yeah. In August, I was meant to go traveling, like long-term backpacking, and virus put an end to that. So it's a bit of a sore subject.
That's why we do this, right? That's probably one of the main reasons you go into this.
Goal.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get into the affiliate stuff, tell us a little bit about your background, kind of your personal background before you got into the online world.
Basically I was in the Royal Air Force for nearly 9 years, and I was an engineer working on communication systems. And one of the units I served on, we were working shift patterns, and one of the guys on my shift, he was interested in blogging. Not necessarily just blogging either, a lot of different ways to make money online. And because during night shift, we didn't really have much to do. And on his phone, he was always on Black Hat World because of the black background, the yellow text and stuff like that's pretty obvious. And then one day I literally just said, mate, why are you always on that? And then he started explaining. And back then to me, making money online was a totally foreign concept. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah.
And then he started to explain more and more, and I started reading about it. And then I think it was the back end of 2012 or maybe early 2013, I took the plunge and got involved in it and started from there, basically.
Yeah. Just that black and yellow text on Black Hat World is so hard on your eyes, right? Like I read it for 10 minutes, I look away, and I can still see the writing. Like,
even the VIP names when they do it blue on the black background, you can't even read the name of the person you're talking to. It's
horrible experience.
The color schemes. It sticks in your mind, but it's so bad for getting data off it.
Yeah. So, I mean, can you remember how you made your first dollar online? Like, what was that?
I didn't start with blogging at all. I started with YouTube, but it was Black Hat YouTube using a program called Mass Video Blaster, I think it was, or something like that. It is still for sale, but I would not recommend it. No. But basically, I'd use a cost per acquisition offer, so CPA offers in the cosmetic niche. And because it was Black Hat, I didn't use any of the content. I'd tell my bots to go off, download makeup tutorials on YouTube. The bots would put an overlay on the video saying, click the link in the description to get cosmetic samples, and the link would be my CPA offer. And then if they click through, put their email address in for the trial. Sometimes it was like teeth whitening, or might have been like, I really don't know anything about makeup, but like different types of makeup. So I'd get different videos for that particular niche. And then I'd get $1.90, I think it was back then, per person who signed up for the trial or the offer or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then I did that for like half of 2013. And then Google rolled out the high retention view algorithm. So the method I used pretty much stopped working overnight because high retention views were so expensive to buy.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't financially viable. And I was only doing it as a hobby anyway, so I basically put a pin in it and moved from there to blogging.
Yeah. We're using someone like Peerfly as the CPA network or something like that.
Yeah. I have used Peerfly in AdWork Media, but they were more, how to say it, legit. So I don't know if you've ever heard of CPA Tank. That actually, I'm not sure how much I can say, actually costs us an ongoing lawsuit against them.
Oh, wow.
But I honestly think they just lied to their clients and didn't care where their publishers got their traffic from.
Right.
Spoofed it on the back end, so their clients would say, oh, it's coming from, I don't know, like cosmopolitan.com or some makeup brand, when really it was just people uploading thousands of videos to YouTube. But yeah, they got disbanded in the FTC in a court case with CPA Tank now, so I really don't know what happened with them.
Got out at a good time then.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. So I think you're doing some amazing case studies at the moment, and it would be awesome if we can dive into them. So the first one I want to talk about is the Authority blog case study. So you're 6 months into this site. I think you're like 500,000 words in. Can you tell us a little bit about the site, like the background, why you decided to start it, just, the history?
So with my blogging side of things, I've been mainly focused on affiliate marketing via Amazon for about 3 years now. I did do AdSense when I very first moved into blogging. Then the high income potential of affiliate marketing drew us to Amazon. Then in 2017 and 2020, Amazon slashed their commission rates, and they've just rolled out another change to the Amazon affiliate program, but for Europe, like .com and the .de for Germany and stuff. That was April last year. So in my brain, I was looking to diversify income sources. So I wanted to start a massive site to be monetized with Amazon, eBay, display ad networks, ClickBank, as many different income sources as possible. And then last year we had 3 core algorithm updates from Google. 2019, I think we had 2. 2018, I think we had 2. And then before that was just the Thread rollout and Penguin and Panda and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to diversify traffic away from just Google as well and try to integrate Pinterest. And then I came up with this plan for an authority blog, started working through it, and then I'm using a tool called Genius Links. Usually I use AWP for my affiliate links. It just goes directly to Amazon. Genius Links give you a little choice page or like an intermediate bridge page where they can click, I want to go to Amazon or I want to go to eBay.
Yeah.
And to be fair, looking back, it was good to try it to diversify income away from Amazon to eBay, but I think the click rate is maxed out for eBay at 15%. Everyone else clicks Amazon.
Yeah.
Then the actual conversions on Amazon hover, depending on the season, like we've just came out of Q4 in the holidays, so it goes up a little bit then, and it hovered at around 12%, and it's around 10% now for conversions on Amazon.
Yeah.
But on eBay, conversions is like 3%, 4% at best. So like, it just doesn't seem anyone buys stuff on eBay anymore. It's just always Amazon.
Yeah.
So yeah, paying for Genius links was a bit of a pain. I wish I just stuck with ARP and scaled into display ad content where I can monetize it with an ad network and then add supplementary links instead of buyer intent stuff. But it's grown nicely, traffic. It's a nice traffic curve month on month for every single month since I've published the content now. So I am happy with how it's grown.
What's that tool you're using? Is it Orb, did you say?
Yeah, ARP, AAWP. I don't know what it stands for. The developer's German.
I've never heard of anyone actually pronounce it like that. I've always just said it's AWP.
Oh, yeah. I think it was Alex from WP Eagle. When I was on his stream, he called it ARP. And I just stuck in my head when I was talking to him. And then since then, I've just called it ARP.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does stand for something, but the devs are German. So it's something in German. It's really long words. I don't know what it means.
It's interesting you mentioned about Genius and how they have that intermediary box. Like I've never actually tried the box just because I feel like it adds an additional like friction point. They click the button and then they have to open another page and maybe that loads slow or doesn't load properly and I have to click again. But I've personally had some experience where I've tested 2 different affiliate programs, so Amazon and then another one. And the way I did that was basically have 2 click-through buttons on the page. So one is check price on Amazon, one is check price on Walmart or something like that. And then a little bit of text underneath to encourage them to click them both. Something like don't forget to click both links because they may be exclusive offers. And then I used Hotjar then to record the user sessions to see what was actually happening. And lots of people actually did open them both in 2 separate windows or on desktop. It doesn't happen on mobile, but even though the programs I tried out had a much higher commission rate than Amazon, because the conversion rate was so much lower, it just made sense to take off that other button. It just
I'm the same now. Yeah. When I go back to publishing content for that domain, I'm not even going to use Genius links. It'll just be ARP linking direct to Amazon. All the data I have as well is exactly the same as you. People just don't convert on other platforms. One of my friends, he's on, I think it's Redbubble. Like he makes his own T-shirts related to his niche and actually sell quite well for the niche he's in. But you can do it. Amazon have, I think it's Create Space or something, and Amazon have their version.
Yeah.
And people only buy from Amazon, even though it's the exact same T-shirt. Yeah. I guess it's because of Amazon Prime and stuff like that and the trust Amazon have. But I know a fair few people who've tried to diversify after the cuts last year. And even on Reddit, there was public case studies of people not manually going into the database of their blog, flipping Amazon links to another vendor and then flipping them back a few months later because the conversion rates just weren't there.
Yeah, that's crazy. So the site now, like you say, it's 6 months old. It's been growing month on month, really, really nice. I think last month you touched almost 4,000 visitors, brought in around $65. Yeah. What's the long-term plan with the site? Where do you hope to take it? Is this a cash flow project for you? Are you going to build it and sell it? What's the goal there?
Things are changing. Like my goals are changing quite a lot, pretty much as every month goes by now because of Google updates and Amazon changing stuff and Pinterest algorithm updates. So I did want to keep that project for a long term, but I might sell it in the end, in all honesty. I'm looking more towards basically growing blogs as an income source, an active income source where I actively grow them for 18 months to 24 months and then look to sell them and take that money from the actual sale of the blog and put it into other asset classes and continually grow blogs as my job, basically.
It's almost like an incubator then. So you grow these blogs over a set period and then sell them and then take the money and reinvest elsewhere to diversify.
That's exactly it. Because, like I mentioned, I was trying to diversify traffic sources with Pinterest and then income sources with eBay and stuff like that. And I think it's just easier to diversify completely away from the blogging space in a completely different asset class and minimize overall risk that way.
So is this the first one of those type of sites that you've started, or have you got a couple that are on the go that are in that 12 to 24 month kind of?
I've got historical stuff, but that was not necessarily using. They're basically, all my old sites are the ones built around Amazon and weren't really built for display ads or anything like that. Because a lot of the old original AdSense stuff that I did was just churn and burn. So a lot of them are dead. And then I moved into Amazon for Longterm. Now I'm kind of looking to pivot back to display ads, because with an ad network, if an ad network changes its rules, you just flip your ad code to another network. Unlike with Amazon, like we've both seen on our projects, the conversion rate from Amazon is so hard to duplicate somewhere else, whereas click-through rate for clicking an ad box on your site, doesn't matter if it's AdSense, Ezoic, or anyone else, it's an ad box, so people clicking it or landing on the page and doing a CPM model for your income. It's not really going to matter.
So yeah, I mean, we've both seen the Ezoic ads index revenue, which basically tracks how much display ads pay month on month. And I think recently, maybe was it like a couple of months back, it literally was the all-time high. Ad revenue has never been higher. So to diversify away from something like Amazon or affiliate programs, at least partly into display ads, I think is a great idea.
Yeah, mate, I totally agree. I think the last year with lockdowns and stuff like that, the amount of people I see not necessarily getting involved in affiliate marketing or blogging, but e-commerce with their own Shopify stores.
Yeah.
Even some local bricks and mortar stuff now, you can go onto their website and buy it, and then they'll deliver like food and stuff like that here. I know you can do it with Just Eat, but there's local merchants and stuff. It's just a local, Shopify store with their products. There's a lot of people moving from high street to online. And another good thing about online ad agencies is, unlike a traditional agency where for TV or radio or newspaper, you might have to sign a contract for years. That's a nightmare to get out of. You just press a button with ads. So if there is a pandemic, you say stop ad spend, and then you're saving revenue rather than being in a contract. And I think a lot of people have seen that, and that's why RPMs, like you said, were all-time high recently.
Yeah.
And I think it was the 25th of January, just before the whole GameStop Wall Street bets thing, the ad rates were starting to climb right back up in Q1 of a fresh year, which is like unheard of. It's usually Q2. It'll slowly come up via Q1 after the holidays, and it pretty much started picking up halfway through January. But the whole GameStop thing seems to have pushed it back down.
It does track the stock market pretty closely, right?
Yeah. I think it's like with a lot of people saying all around the world with lockdown and stimulus checks in different economies, it's just there's a lot of fear out there right now. So I think it would have the RPMs for the Ezoic ad network at least would have been a lot stronger if the GameStop thing didn't happen, because you can see a strong upward trend for about a week. And then it starts getting media coverage, and then everything's panicking.
Yeah. Do you think it's easier to rank informational type of keywords as well?
100% I do, personally anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, so one of the common things which I've seen across lots of at least the bigger sites that were hit in the December update was the amount of commercial content to informational content. Like you've got massive sites like Gear Hungry and a couple in the outdoor space and the fitness space, where they literally had hundreds and sometimes thousands of just best of guides and very little helpful informational content. They got hit so hard. I think Gear Hungry went from 700,000 or 800,000 visitors a month on Ahrefs down to 20,000.
Jesus, that's a hit.
Yeah, and it's definitely not. It seems to be almost a little bit niche dependent. Like some niches were hit harder, but of the big sites that I've seen have hit, like lots of them had that issue where they were only concentrating on commercial content. So I think it's becoming more important for Google to have a more well-rounded site anyway.
Yeah, like you said, I think it is niche dependent. I was so lucky. The only site I had hit in December was 3 or 4 days, traffic dropped off and then it recovered by itself. So I was so lucky. My highest income site is up about between 20 and 25% in traffic.
Yeah.
But that site is pretty much 100% buyer intent content.
Yeah.
So I do think it's just luck of the draw, in all honesty. I saw people on Reddit who had a lot of buyer intent articles as well. And similar to me, they were temporarily hit. And then within a few weeks, they recovered. I'm pretty sure Carl Broadbent hit one of his case study domains. He was hit for about a week and then it just recovered.
Okay.
Thankfully, most people I know have recovered, if not everyone now. So that's good that people didn't go to zero overnight, unfortunately, for a long period of time. Back in the day, I remember when Penguin 4 rolled out, when the Fred update rolled out and going to zero. That was totally my fault. Both of them updates, I was basically a black hat SEO going against Google's guidelines. So it was more of a waiting game. But it's not a good feeling checking your analytics and then it's literally a cliff down to zero on your traffic. It's not a good feeling.
You're just waiting, right? You're just waiting for that hammer to come down.
Yeah. With the churn and burn stuff, it was part of your strategy.
Yeah.
But with the PBN stuff, when Fred rolled out, that hit my PBN blogs and that wasn't ideal. Literally, I'd handed my notice in for the Air Force as well. I think I had 3 months left to serve and then I had no job. Fred rolled out, so I went to zero and had to build back up from there.
That's motivation, right? Nothing motivates you more than
I've got the kind of character where I'm better like that, where I'm up against the wall and like I don't usually fall to pieces. I just get on with it, and I turn that into motivation and just crack on. I was talking to someone a few days ago, and they were asking us how, for one of my projects, I was churning out 9,000 words a day, and we're saying, how did you get the motivation to do that? And if you look at, do you know on Moz, there's a list of every single Google update that's ever been released. And I got hit by Penguin 4 in 2016. That set us to zero. Fred in 2017, that set us back to zero again. And then the September 2019 update, I think it was, it didn't knock me to zero, but it took about 90% of my traffic. Wow. So I was just highly motivated to say, basically, it's now or never. I've just got to sit down at a laptop and churn out content. Thankfully, though, with that blog that was hit by the September update, 2 months later, in the November update, that blog recovered, so I had an income again while my other blog's starting to grow. But it's just part of being a blogger now. That's why some of my friends last year, because a lot of my friends know what I do, although they don't really understand it.
Yeah.
And now if they've got a mortgage or children or something that they've got to support or even a car, I'll basically say, mate, it's extremely risky to be a blogger. And it's not like a lot of the Instagram influencers where they show you a photo on a beach with a laptop and it's like, firstly, mate, screen glare, you can't work on a beach. I've tried it. It doesn't work. No. And it's not just sipping cocktails on a beach. You graft a lot. Mm-hmm. I'm getting a reputation on Reddit for basically just saying, if you want a full-time income from blogging, you need to put in full-time hours. And it's like basically copy and paste on multiple threads now. Because a lot of people, because of the pandemic, unfortunately, have lost their jobs.
Yeah.
And a lot of people see people on Instagram putting stuff out like that, pretending it's easy, and it's far from it. It really is not an easy job.
Oh, no. I mean, people talk about it being passive, but it's far from passive. It's not a passive income.
It's definitely an active income when you start, but it can be delayed. With my 3 highest income domains, one of them I haven't touched since September 2019. The other 2, the second highest income domain I haven't touched in over a year. My highest income and third highest income I haven't touched in about a year. But the amount of hours on my Rescue Time app for actually growing them to get the content online, it's probably hundreds of hours. I don't even like to look at it, to be honest.
No.
But it takes a lot of time to churn that content out and then just sit and let it age in with Google.
Well, how do you keep yourself so positive then? Do you think it's because of your military background? I mean, most people would have probably quit after getting hit to zero twice, never mind a third time where you lost 90%. How did you stay positive?
That was just since I left Churn and Burn, like back then, because it was part of your strategy, I've been hit by probably 20 Google updates and set a 0. But back with old school Penguin, when it was a manual rollout, you aggressively built more links than you knew you should be because you knew you were getting hit anyway. So you'd rank faster to make as much money in about a 6-month period. And then you drop to 0 and just build it all up again. But that kind of helped because I was used to it. The thread rollout blindsided us because everything I'd ever been hit by before was automation with auto-generated content from just something that had scraped the internet and mixed words together and stuff.
Right.
Totally see why that happened. And then the PBN stuff blindsided us, so that was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with Google now. They just say it's a core algorithm update. They don't tell you what they're targeting. Back in the day, they'd say, oh, it's a Penguin update, which is off-page, or a Panda update, which is on-page, or Hummingbird search experience. So you'd had a way to try and fault find at least, but now it's just, core algorithm update. Good luck if you got hit. We're not going to answer any questions on Twitter, and it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, I see. There's a guy I follow on Facebook. He runs I think the company called Sistrix, and his advice basically is if you get hit with an update, you have to throw the kitchen sink at it, and it's probably not going to get fixed until the next update. So you just basically have to fix as much as you can, and then pray and hope the next update rolls out and you start to recover because you just have no idea really what that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
it's like in December, I had people on Reddit and on the forums messaging me or commenting on like my journey thread saying, oh, I've lost all my traffic. How do I fix it? And my advice is just to wait. Yeah. Thankfully, it's been 3 core algorithm updates now where just leaving Google to sort out their issues has fixed it for a lot of people without changing anything.
Yeah.
In December on Reddit, there was a lot of threads saying, just try author boxes, which I don't believe that's a thing. Anyone can just drag a widget and make an About Me page and make anything up. But for some reason, people on Reddit believe that can stop updates. Like, that is not how this works, mate. No. Anyone can put a stock photo of a doctor on a page and make up some stuff about going to a medical university.
Yeah.
But I think especially right now, on Reddit at least, there's a lot of people who they don't necessarily have blogs that are making money, but they're offering advice on quite complex topics. And it used to be a problem on Black Hat World years ago where someone would read something, they wouldn't understand it, and then they try and regurgitate a version of it, and it's like, that is not correct. No. Close, but like misinterpreting small bits can end up with massive difference of outcome. But on Reddit, it's a really bad problem right now. There was a thread last week where a fair few people who are full-time bloggers basically abandoned one of the subreddits that are big in this space and said, we're not posting here anymore. It's not worth our time.
Was this the Just Start?
Yeah. There was like a mini rebellion.
Right.
And I totally get it, because on there, it used to just be case studies of people growing blogs. Mm-hmm. And now it's just random questions that you can Google and usually find an answer for, and then someone will reply to that with a reply that is not necessarily correct. And then the people who are actually working on their projects to earn money, they don't have the time to counter reply every day. And then people get offended if you say that's wrong, try this, and it's just not worth the time and effort anymore.
No, definitely. Just Start used to be. I used to love reading Just Start stuff, but it's definitely gone
back in the day.
Yeah, it's definitely gone downhill. Well, tell us a little bit about your latest case study. This rank and reveal case study. Where you're going to build a site and then rank it, obviously, and then reveal it.
That is without a doubt the most requested thing on my YouTube channel since I started uploading videos this time last year. Mm-hmm. I get countless people saying, will you ever... I can't remember the name. Someone else did it years ago, and then they've did one every year since or something, and I don't have the time to do one every year.
No.
But I just said, I may as well do it. And then I wasn't actually going to tell people it was a rank and reveal case study until December, and I was just going to upload all the videos over the shoulder, recording my screen as I basically build the site. And then on my journey threads, because I've got journey threads on a few forums, I mentioned how I'm set at 100 keywords and I'm not going to do more. And then people started inboxing me saying, why are you only doing 100 keywords? And then I just thought it's easy just to explain and say, oh, because in December, I'm basically going to put a ton of videos up on how I built the site and how I ranked it. Yeah. So hopefully, so there's two ways that my YouTube channel might go at the end of this year. I might stick with it, but if lockdown is over and I can go traveling, mate, I am leaving. It's like I said, I was trying to go traveling in August last year.
Yeah.
And I've just been motivated by basically taking a laptop and going to Iceland, then down to Norway. I've got family in Germany I want to see and stuff like that. Been motivated by that for years, and then getting August and there being a global pandemic that stopped it. As soon as that's over, it's highly likely that I'll just go. And because I need a lot of kit for YouTube, I'll probably just pause the YouTube project. So hopefully, the one way of doing it is the last stuff on the YouTube channel while I take a break is all the over-the-shoulder stuff, so people can work on their projects while I'm away. And then by the time I can get online regularly and record videos, hopefully a lot of people have got value and they've done their own one. But see what happens, because people are inherently lazy. Like a lot of the people who I know in real life who I've sat next to side by side at their laptop and went over what they should be doing. I think it's about 15 people I've done that with, or over like a video call, and there's only 2 of them who have stuck with it and are still blogging now.
Yeah.
So see how many
people like the idea. They like the idea, but they don't like the work. And that kind of leads me on to my next question, because you're going to give away all this value for free, and then, like you say, lots of people are just going to look at it but never act on it. Would you ever consider turning this into like a course where, you know, if it's paid, then there's at least there's an additional layer of motivation for people to take your information, which I think is going to be great, and then actually act upon that?
No, I really don't like having to deal with people. Like some of my early jobs before I joined the military was customer service.
Yeah.
And I just can't be bothered with dealing with support tickets and even stuff. I don't know if were you on the GSA forum as well back in the day?
No. Just
Black Hat World. On the GSA forum, I'd put tutorials up for free on how to use the tool, and I'd put massive red arrows using, I think it's called Sketch. So I'd put massive red arrows pointing to a button, saying at this stage you press this button, this stage you press this button, and people would still screw it up. And like, so I'd be raging. It's like, there was massive red arrows pointing to the button. How do you click the wrong one? And it's just, if I put the time and effort into a course and they paid for it, I'd feel like I had to respond to the support tickets and like be polite and stuff. Yeah. And that's just not me, man. I'd rather just put it on YouTube and go traveling and be like, that's what you do. Bye. I'm going around Scandinavia and Finland and Germany and stuff.
No, I mean, you're right. It is sometimes an issue dealing with clients, and it's a whole different world of problems to just working with yourself. You mentioned that the rank and reveal case study site is just going to cover 100 keywords. Yeah. And I know you've broken those down on one of your videos. So it's 25 are going to be just buyer intent keywords, which are pretty self-explanatory. 25 are going to be informational keywords, but they're going to be hybrid with display ads and some buyer boxes to click through to Amazon.
Yeah.
And then you've got 25 buyer intent, but with super low price point products.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the last 25, which I think is the most interesting, is 25 zero volume. Zero volume.
Search volume.
Yeah, zero search volume keywords. And I know you've got an awesome guide on your website about this, but it would be awesome if you could kind of explain how that works. I mean, I'm new to this. I've never done any type of zero search volume keyword research or even targeted keywords with zero search volume. So how does this work? And kind of.
So with the zero search volume keywords, I just want to quickly say this is not something that I invented. It's been a thing for years. It's just on Reddit. I often see people say, like, I came up with it. I didn't. Other people have been talking about it for years. I just put a video on my YouTube channel and a lot of people refer to me, but it's not my method. Anyway, pretty much like I just said, there was a thread back in 2017, I think it was, on Black Hat World, of a person. It was a journey thread, and I think they tried to build a blog targeting nothing but zero search volume keywords, and that actually got quite a lot of traffic. But with buyer intent and affiliate stuff, because the RPM's much higher, you don't really need that much traffic to make decent money. Like some of my friends have considerably more traffic than me, but on a display ad site and make barely anything financially. The first time I think I tried it was early 2017. Then on a blog in 2018, I tried it again and tried to build upon it. And then 2019, and pretty much every blog I've made, I've put a portion of the keywords, just trying to build on the method. I don't know if people watching this will be familiar with Morton from the Passive Income Geek YouTube channel. He's just released a course, and in that, one of his methods is exactly the same. Where it's not exactly the same. He doesn't intentionally target zero search volume keywords. He just doesn't care. He doesn't even check search volume for all of his sites. And it is becoming a lot more popular. In my guide on my blog on how to find the keywords, I've took screenshots from other people on Reddit, basically commenting on how their blogs are using zero search volume keywords and getting traffic as well.
So how does that work from an actual perspective? Because there's a couple of different metrics that people use when they do the keyword research, but the majority of people just use something like a keyword difficulty score and search volume to determine whether, one, they can compete for that keyword, and two, if it's worth going after. How do you approach this in a way that's economical? I mean, you can't just come up with a list of zero search volume keywords and think, well, I'm going to write about all these and there's a chance some could work. Like,
yeah, unfortunately, I have seen people do that and literally just come up with anything off the top of their head. Personally, I just use the Google Auto Suggest, similar to Alphabet Soup, but if you put an asterisk on certain words, it'll give you a wild card, so it'll give you a number of suggestions of alternatives. So something like best toothbrush for children. If you put an asterisk where the toothbrush word would be in Google, it'll be best, and then a number of suggestions for children.
Yeah.
And then you just go through it. The theory is, or at least my theory, is that it's because anything in that Google auto suggest, even though keyword search volume tool like Keywords Everywhere, say it's 0, Google are basically saying this is what people are looking for. If you try and do it from a reverse engineering point of view, the goal of that tool is not to help people who are bloggers, it's to help shorten the time of people searching queries on Google. So it's trying to predict what they'll be looking for. So then I get my ideas from there and basically build an article around it. And because it's affiliate with what I do, my lowest RPM affiliate site's around $80 per 1,000 views. And then my highest goes up to about 130. So I really don't need that much traffic from them to be making decent money.
Yeah.
And then I skill into it that way.
That's really insane that your RPMs are that high.
Oh, mate, honestly, one of my friends, I can't give his niche out, but like what I was saying earlier, a lot of people, they're diversing away from Amazon.
Yeah.
His niche, do you know monthly subscription boxes where they just put any random stuff in?
Yeah.
Mate, he's hit a gold mine. He gets $30. It's kind of like a CPA offer that I was on about earlier where people would sign up for makeup trials, but he gets $30 and all his audience have to do is sign up for a trial. They don't even have to spend anything for his niche, and he's making a killing. I think his RPM was just shy of $300 for December because of this subscription box. I don't know how long that offer is going to be open though.
Yeah.
Well, he's definitely making a lot of money, in addition to affiliate and display ads as well on his blog. But I couldn't believe it when he told us how much money he's actually making from people saying, yeah, I'll have free stuff for 1 month, then logging in and clicking cancel. It's like, I don't understand that business model, man.
Well, they probably take a ton of investment and they don't have to be.
Yeah, it's just rapid scaling.
So in that method where you kind of use the auto suggest box, how do you overcome the potential for cannibalization? So like I've put that in, like I've used that auto suggestion box, and I've kind of obviously when I pull out keywords, there's ones in there with zero search volume, but they tend to be very obviously long tail in nature. And then what I'm noticing more and more lately is when you Google those long tail keywords and you put them into Google, Google isn't necessarily ranking other pages that target that keyword specifically. It's more, say, for example, it would be best dog food for puppies with bad skin. That might be a zero search term volume. When you pop that into Google as a search, like all of the results on page one are all just articles targeting best dog foods or best dog foods for puppies.
Yeah.
Like, from my understanding, the intent of when you put that in there, Google thinks you just want to read an article about best dog food for puppies, rather than something more in depth. Like, how do you overcome that? That's a problem which I'm at the moment. I'm approaching by literally, if the intent doesn't seem right, is removing them. But I would foresee that being a problem with this method, because I would end up probably removing most of the zero volume search terms that I come across.
Yeah. So with the stuff that's ranking in Google, in my opinion at least, it'll be a mix between keyword relevancy and domain power.
Mm-hmm.
And in some niches or for some keywords, 100%, that's an issue for the stuff I work on as well.
Yeah.
Whereas as a small blogger, I'm never going to have the domain power to beat some that, even though they don't have the specific modifier after puppies in their content, Google will always serve them. So if I'm building backlinks to a project, I usually go for DAs of 32 or less, because once I've built backlinks to the page, I can usually beat them from historical blogs that I've owned. If it's a project that I'm not building any backlinks to at all, I usually try and go for a DA of 20 or less if possible, or stuff like Reddit or Quora, even though their DA is massive. User-generated content pages can be really light, as in some of them, it'll be just a question with no replies and stuff like that. And for some reason, Google still rank it.
And are you looking for just one site on the front page, on the first page with a low DA, or are you looking for a couple on there? Or
as many as possible, to be fair. It can take a while to get used to it. But one thing I've noticed, if you see something like Reddit or Quora ranking or Stack Exchange or something like that, Yahoo Answers, anything where it's kind of like a forum, a lot of the time, a lot of the other results will be similar quality, either user-generated or low-score domains. Like the video I recorded last month of doing keyword research for my Rank and Reveal project, there's loads in there where some of them it's not even related to the niche, and it's like, why are Google serving this up? That was a problem as well back in May with one of my blogs that got hit with the algorithm update. Then the YouTube widget across the top, Google will show videos that are niche relevant but not keyword relevant. So it's like, the example I used the other day was, if someone Googles best downhill mountain bike, all the videos in that widget will be best BMX for doing tricks or something like that. So it's about bikes, but it's just not about the actual keyword. I don't know if that's just an issue with Google.
I've seen that.
Well, yeah, it is definitely an issue with zero search volume, especially if you're not building backlinks.
I've definitely seen examples where they get it wrong, and one which sticks in my mind, I don't know if it's the same now, but this is going back maybe last year, where the keyword was something along the lines of best commercial vinyl cutter. So you're obviously the intent of buying a commercial one, and all of the results were all about commercial cutters for the home. Like, there was no one instance of anything commercial-wise or business-wise. It was all just like, you wouldn't buy a home cutter to put in your print shop, for example. And I just thought they've totally got that wrong. Like, 100% got it wrong.
Yeah, the AI, the rank brain system that Google have developed, it has improved a lot over the years with understanding searcher intent, but there is definitely a lot of times where they get it wrong. And with the YouTube widget, I honestly think that widget is artificially inflated in strength in the SERP, because if Google push traffic from Google to YouTube, it's still AdSense, and then the YouTube ecosystem make Google more money. So even if it's not exact, Google will still put the little widget with 3 or 4 videos at the top and just hope people click. In my opinion, I don't know if it's true, but it's just strange how, in my niche at least, the stuff is not keyword relevant, and it's just impossible to beat it with like a 4,000 word article that's got backlinks pointing to it about the exact keyword, answering the searcher intent. And before May as well, I was ranking top. And then after the May core algorithm update, when a lot of people had issues with the YouTube widget, it's just, I just can't beat it. It really annoys me, but it's just one of them things about being a blogger.
Yeah. We adapt and move on, right?
Exactly, mate. No point wasting time, effort, and money trying to beat it. Just at some point, you've got to say, right, I'm just leaving it and moving on.
Yeah. Which kind of nicely brings on to our next point. And I think it's important to talk about kind of reflecting on what we did well and what we would do differently going forward. And I saw your video of the 9 blogging mistakes you made in 2020, and I thought that was awesome. Like, I've never really seen many people kind of talk about what they felt they did wrong. So I've pulled out 5 of the top points there, which I think are really relevant. And the first one is you said that you focused on narrow informational type keywords. You would do that differently going forward. What does that mean, and kind of what are you doing differently going forward there?
It's similar to what you said earlier about the dog food, where you'd go so niche specific that you'll get a very small amount of traffic, whereas with affiliate blogs, your income is higher, provided you're targeting higher ticket items. I basically took my keyword research method for my affiliate blogs and tried to implement it with display ads. So the traffic I'm pulling from Google, because the article is so laser targeted, it's just not comparable, the income, even though the traffic is very, very similar to what I pull for the affiliate articles. Because my RPM for display ads, I think it maxed out at about $9 in December, but because of the ad spend, it's higher. Right now it's $4, but again, it's Q1, so it's probably going to normalize between $6 and $7, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas, like I said earlier, my lowest RPM for my affiliate sites is $80, so the difference between that is insane. So to go broader, I wouldn't go for best dog food like you gave for the example, because that's going to be crazy high competition. But instead of going for the extra long tail or the extra modifier, so best dog food for
puppies with
huskies, or puppies, or like some specific thing.
Yeah.
I'd target basically best dog food, and then in that article, I'd just try and inject as many secondary search terms as possible. So I'd mention puppies, dog breeds, dogs that have I can't remember what it's called. My friend just got a dog for Christmas, but it's got to be on a really specific diet. Like it's like £70 for the dog food because it's so specific. Right. But I'd include that keyword to try and just get as much search traffic to the article as I can.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. No, that's awesome. One of the other points you brought up were content length. So you felt like you didn't put enough, the articles weren't long enough in 2020, and you actually mentioned some figures there. So in 2019, your average content length was about just under 2,500 words, and in 2020 it was 1,700. So I guess the question on this point is, how do you determine the length of the content for a commercial piece and an informational piece?
With me, I don't care about if it's buyer intent or informational intent. I use the exact same process, and it's really simple. I literally just Google the keyword, look for the blogs that are targeting that specific keyword, open them, and then I highlight the traffic and check the word count. There's a Chrome plugin called Word Counter Plus.
Yeah.
It's a free plugin. You literally highlight the traffic, right-click, click Word Counter Plus, and it tells you how many words the article is. And I always try and at least match the word count for other blogs that are targeting it. But with my buyer intent stuff, I'll use that as a minimum because of the way I write them. Even, especially if it's a niche I know well, once I'm in my writing flow, I'll usually do like 3,000 words, even if I was just aiming for 2,000 by the time the article is finished, if that makes sense, just because of the way I structure it. Mm-hmm. But with the informational stuff, it's a lot harder to find content.
Yeah.
So they are usually close at what the competition will have for their articles on the topic.
Do you have any thoughts on using a tool like Surfer or Pop to figure out article length, or because you're kind of doing that manually at the moment? It sounds like.
Yeah, the issue with Surfer SEO, I used it for a fair few months in 2020, probably about 3 or 4 months, but there was a few issues. I have got a video going over it, and apparently, I can't remember who it was, someone told us have changed a lot of them, and a lot of the stuff I didn't like. But there was stuff in there where to my knowledge, when I tested it, like comment sections, a blog might have hundreds of or thousands of words of content in the comment section, and then they'd class that rather than words just in the tags of the body tags on the page. Whereas in my opinion, Google knows literally the bracket body, the content from there down to bracket / body bracket is that's the article, and Google can see that. If you can right click view source on a web page, Google can see that as well.
Yeah.
And they know that is the article. So a lot of tools, there's a plugin, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's similar to the Mozbar, and actually the Surfer SEO plugin does it as well. It'll give you a prediction of the word count on the article from the SERP. So you haven't actually got to click through, but it counts text in the sidebar. So if you're an Amazon affiliate, there's the we are an Amazon affiliate thing.
Yeah.
Stuff in the comments, and it just massively inflates what's actually there. For example, in the keyword research video I recorded last month for the Rank and Reveal site, there's one, I think it says about 1,500 words on the plugin, and then I went in, it was 300 words. Wide open keyword with a good article, easy to beat.
Yeah.
It's got quite a lot of search volume as well, so I always manually check it.
Yeah.
Rather than using a plugin or Surfer.
Yeah, no, I definitely. So we do something similar to you where we check the competition, and but actually use a tool to start with. It's a free. It's called what's it called? It's called searchbloom.com, and they have a free bulk page checker, so you can check in bulk the content length, and they pull out like a couple of different columns, and one of them includes the sidebar and one of them doesn't include the sidebar, but they don't have a solution for the comment stuff, so you then have to go back and manually check. And sometimes you see an informational keyword, it comes up in there and it's like 6,000 words, and no way somebody's wrote 6,000 words on how to answer a basic question, and there's just tons of comments.
That is really common as well. A lot, like I just disable comments on all my blogs now.
Yeah.
But some people will leave them open, and if it's like a 5-year-old article getting a lot of traffic, the comments are insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't understand why those tools don't do it, because they can literally scan the page and just pull the word count from the body tags. I don't know why they haven't, but
hey, this sounds like an opportunity, Shaun, if anything.
I mean, I am not a coder. I'm too busy for anything like that. But yeah, any coders watching, get on with that.
The next point is looking at selling too soon and potentially leaving money on the table. What do you want to share? I know you're under some NDAs about some of the things you've got going on, but what do you want to share about looking at selling your sites too soon and potentially leaving some money on the table?
Well, with that one, I've already spoken about it before. With one of the sites I made in January 2020, it was heavily hit by the Google indexing updates problems. Google had 3 issues that they'd confirmed with indexing web pages into their search index last year. One of my blogs, no matter what I tried, I was building backlinks, I was using paid indexing tools, I was manually force indexing it pretty much every single day until Google disabled the tool.
Yeah.
And just nothing would index it. And then in June or July, they confirmed there was an issue, said, we've fixed it. And then you can go back to that tweet on Google, and there's a lot of people saying, mate, this is not fixed, my stuff is not indexing. Then in October, it was October 2020, they confirmed 2 other indexing issues, which were not really related to what I was seeing, but I think whatever they did to fix those 2, fixed the one from June or July as well, which was the one I was hit by.
Right.
And you can literally, on my analytics, from the day they tweeted out that they'd fixed the ones from October, traffic's just going up and up and up, and it hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
But I got a valuation pretty much for potentially selling my blogs just after that, thinking, that those pages will never index. And I think it was below 40% of all pages on the blog were actually indexed then. And in December, I think it was, I checked, and it was just shy of 90. And then last month I checked, it's about 95 because Google have fixed it. So they're indexing the content correctly. Mm-hmm. So the valuation for that particular blog was based on 40% of its pages being indexed, and now it's 95%, so it's worth a lot more money. Another one, I know a lot of people got hit by the core algorithm update in December, but one of my blogs, it's up, depending on the week, by 20 and 25% traffic.
Wow.
For buyer intent keywords with an RPM of $100 to 130, and it's up 20 to 25% traffic.
Yeah.
And the valuation was before that algorithm that update hit.
Right.
So that blog is also worth a lot more money. So with the update, you never know when Google are going to release them, so you can't really plan selling your blogs around them. And on the flip side, you might get hit and your blog could be worth less. But if there is a problem that Google are confirming and working on, like the indexing issue, I just wait and hope that they fix it before getting a valuation, costs more than double. Yeah, it was usually 30 to 40% of the pages were indexed, so now it's 95. Once they've aged in, you can look at the analytics every single month since October. That blog is getting more traffic, and it's nowhere near stopped yet. So yeah, just wait out when you're getting your blog annual valuations for potentially selling them. If you were hit by the indexing issues last year, and a lot of people were, unfortunately.
I think just to highlight that point, I know John Dykstra sold some of his sites on Motion Invest recently, and you could see what they were. And one of them, it looks like a day or so after he sold it, maybe not a day or so, but it wasn't long after he sold it that the December update came out, and that website has just shot up like insane amounts.
Really?
Yeah, so it just highlights that point that you mentioned there.
Yeah, but to counter that though, there was a guy on Just Start on Reddit called Humble Salesman who started it years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He sold his blogs, and then this was back in 2017. He sold his Amazon affiliate blogs in 2017 before Amazon slashed their commissions.
Yeah.
So he got a better multiple than the guy who bought it, because I think the the commission for that niche went from 8% to 4%.
Yeah.
But so it works both ways, but
I had very close close call like that with the last update. Literally, the money was in escrow. The site was $90,000, so it was a big purchase. The money was in escrow, and Amazon announced their rate change, and it dropped in half for this website essentially. And luckily, the seller allowed me to back out, and we kind of cancelled the transaction. But if this was a week before, I would have basically paid 90 grand for a grand site, basically.
It's crazy. Like, one of my good friends, she made a lot of money with Ethereum back in 2017 and 2018.
Yeah.
I'm talking tens of millions, because she had a lot of it. She's been buying blogs she's been buying property and all sorts to diversify. And then the back end of last year, I was talking to her about potentially buying mine. And then because she was predicting this new rally, Bitcoin's having an all cryptocurrency, so she put most of her money back in.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to her a few days ago after this newest commission change from Amazon. She's basically saying, I'm not buying affiliate blogs anymore. And she was buying them for 35 to 40 times multiple in December. And now she's saying it's just too unpredictable. I'm only buying display ad blogs from now on. And I totally get that from her.
Yeah.
And she actually has a custom rate card with Amazon as well.
Oh, wow.
And she does have, I can't really go into that because I know she's under an NDA for a lot of the stuff I've spoken to her about. But I'm definitely trying to move away from Amazon as fast as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. The next point, so mistake number 4 that you said, or that you changed from 2020, was focusing on zero backlink projects. What do you mean by that, and what are you doing differently this year?
Well, I do think zero backlinking 100%. I've got other blogs that work with it. The one we just spoke about earlier, the 6-month-old case study. Although I'm actually gonna get backlinks from you guys for that in a few months.
Yeah.
To date, it has no backlinks at all, and it's just shown upward traffic curve from the very start. So that is a legitimate strategy, and it does work. It just takes a lot more time.
Yeah.
And potentially, I think it was Morton on the Passive Income Geek channel. He was saying he usually waits 24 months. I can't remember who it was, but someone was saying they don't build backlinks to any of their projects, and sometimes they'll wait 24 months before
Wow.
the traffic growth curve stops after they've published the content.
Yeah.
And with Google updates and Amazon commission changes, I don't have 24 months to wait. So I'm just going to start building backlinks again, because it brings that 24 months down drastically, in my experience at least. And coming from the Black Hat community, I know a ton of people. They're not necessarily bloggers that do like an Amazon landing page for a ClickBank thing and then put some filler content on the blog. But there's definitely a correlation between ranking faster if you've got decent contextual backlinks pointing to the blog. So I just want to save time, basically. I rather spend money, rank faster, get traffic faster, and hopefully avoid... I don't know if you've seen it. There's a lot of people saying... I don't believe it myself that Amazon will just get rid of their affiliate program completely in a few years, but it's just risk reward. So bring that ranking time down with backlinks.
No, 100%. What's your take on expired domains? So you're already building on that foundation?
Mate, I don't use them. I did use them quite heavily for my private blog network back in 2017.
Yeah.
Some of my money sites were built on them, but it's... Do you go on Data is Beautiful on Reddit or not?
I've been on there a few times, but never attempted.
Someone on the blog and subreddit linked to a post on there. This is years back, and there was a direct correlation between actual expired domains, as in they'd been dropped and had just sat unregistered. The price they were being repurchased for was going down drastically, while at the same time, the price for auction domains from something like Dynadot or GoDaddy Auctions, it was increasing pretty much exponentially. The only person I know who still uses domains that have been pre-used, I don't really like the term dropped or expired, because to me that is a specific type of pre-used domains that the previous webmaster have just let expire. Mm-hmm. And then within that, there's auction domains. The person I know who still uses previously used domains only buys them at GoDaddy Auctions. They've got to be niche related to the niche he's working in. And he pays an insane amount of money. And I'm talking thousands of dollars for one domain.
Yeah.
And because of legal issues as well, it's not buying the website. He has no rights to use the content. And if he does, he can get into trouble. He's literally spending thousands of dollars just for the domain name.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we work with them quite extensively, actually. One of our clients recently, me and Mark were watching this domain auction, and we were like, wow, this domain's... In the end, it went for over $17,000. And we were like, wow, that's an insane amount. And like, lo and behold, the next day, one of our clients said, hey, I bought a great domain yesterday. And we're like, wow. So we actually got the chance to work on that. And to be fair, like we only launched that site in the beginning of December. And according to SEMrush, January already had almost 30,000 visits. So like looking back, that $17,000 almost feels like a steal, considering how quick the site's just gone insane.
Mate, yeah, the guy I know who does it, he's making insane money from his blogs.
That's the quickest we've ever seen anything take off like that. It was just so quick.
Is that organic traffic as well, or is it referral?
No, all organic.
Man, month one, 30,000. That's extremely good.
Yeah.
Just to confirm, do you only buy them at auction, or do you deal with drop domains as well that have been expired, and you can just register them for list?
So it's mainly from auction. I mean, it's almost it's really, really difficult to actually get drop domains these days, at least good ones, because there's so many drop catches.
A lot stand out.
So yeah, I mean, you do end up paying more for them at like somewhere like GoDaddy Auction, but I mean, it's better for us to buy them there than to buy them through like another third party again. You know, someone like Odis or something where the markup is insane.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's still a viable option to buy them from other places, but if you can buy them direct, the only problem with buying them direct from auction is, you know, you kind of have to know exactly what you're looking for. And all the red flags that go along with it. In fact, me and Mark did one of our first videos on our YouTube channel is the 8 things we look for when we buy an expired domain. So you kind of have to run through a checklist of...
Yeah, mate, 100%. The amount of like Asian gambling sites that use Western domains is ridiculous. Well, it used to be when I used to get them.
Yeah, I was vetting another one this week for for one of our clients. It was a domain that he had brought to us and he was looking at buying. And I mean, on the face of it, it looked awesome. Like super age, super relevant, like insane backlink profile. I think it had history going back to like 1998. So it like been the same site for all this time. Anchor text looked great. There was no trademark issues. Apart from at one point in, I think it was around 2014, you could see like a small break in Wayback. And when I clicked that, I couldn't find any outbound links on there to any dodgy sites, but the page title at the top mentioned like Viagra, but I couldn't find any outbound links. Like I looked through all the source code and stuff. There was nothing there, but I'm just thinking, well, the domain was like 8.5, 9 grand. I think if that's in the page title, there's something dodgy going on there, and it's not worth a pound for that kind of money.
100%, man. That's my friend. He is extremely wealthy. So to him, if he spends a couple of grand on a domain at auction and it doesn't work, it's really not that much money to him. But like I mentioned with our graphic on Reddit, the prices over, I think it was since 2017, the prices for auction domains have gone through the roof. So I just wouldn't take the risk personally. But do you not think in the future Google will be able to, because once you buy that domain, all the internal links, as in post URLs, disappear off the domain, so Google can just add something to say that's changed hands?
Yeah, well,
that'll be an issue in the future. That's another reason that I don't do it.
Yeah, so interestingly, and I'll send you the link after the call. Maybe we'll put it in the show notes. John Mueller put up, he had an interview back in November talking about expired domains. And I mean, my takeaway from the post was there's so many legit reasons why a site might drop and then come back again that they can't really do anything about it. He basically said it's really difficult for them to figure out if someone's just bought it to rebuild on. I mean, even going back, it was a good couple of months back, but Google let one of their own domains accidentally expire. Somebody bought it and then they have to give it back. But these things happen to legitimate businesses. And then when we recreate the website, we actually try and, where possible, maintain the old URL structure, either with new content or some other methods. Or where that's not possible, we set up redirects from the old URL structure through to new pages or through to category pages and posts. So, I mean, the main reason we do that is to preserve that link juice. And also, if any of the old websites that link back to that do a broken link report or something like that, they don't see
it's still maintained.
But I mean, from an algorithm perspective, I really think it's going to be super difficult for Google to figure out legitimate uses against non-legitimate.
Yeah. To be fair, I think the easiest way for Google to deal with it is if it links out, like you said, to a Viagra blog after it's suspected being changed of the owner.
Yeah.
Discount link juice, or if it's pointing to like a black hat niche or something like that. That's probably one of the steps Google will take action on. But there's so many people on Black Hat World who use it for Black Hat niches like Clash of Clans hacks. One of my friends made 10 grand a month for a few months before his site got burnt using a PBN to prop up some fake Clash of Clans gem hack with a ton of PBNs. So niches like that, Google will just put something on the back end, I guess. Yeah. And if it links to something like that or Viagra, discount it.
Yeah, definitely. The last one I want to talk about, and I think it's a nice way to kind of round off today's chat, is how you're diversifying away from just online marketing in general. So we kind of touched upon it earlier where you're talking about building these incubator sites and then moving the money out. But what's your view on that? Where are you moving money to? How are you diversifying away from the whole online space?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of cryptocurrency, and I know it's not for everyone. It's very volatile, at least right now. But on the flip side, with that volatility is potential reward in the future. It could go to zero. It could absolutely skyrocket when these platforms come online.
Yeah.
So cryptocurrency is one method that I'm putting money into. Mainly Bitcoin right now, but I'm actually going for decentralized application platforms like Ethereum, Cardano, stuff like that as well for passive income with staking. The stock market, I did want to put a lot of money into the stock market, and then the GameStop thing has just happened. Although I do have some money into stocks, that's kind of on hold until the whole GameStop thing, the dust settles and the market corrects. But I did check my stock account this morning, and it's back up. I think it went from about 11% gains since I started putting money into the stock market down to about 6 with the whole GameStop thing, and it's back up to 11 now. So I'll monitor it for a few weeks or months and see if it maintains, and then I'll put money back into that. I'm looking at property as well. The thing I don't like about property, like I said earlier, I just don't like dealing with people. So if a tenant's in, I need a plumber or something like that, it's just not for me. But one of my very first jobs was in a conveyancing solicitors, buying property, dealing with the legal side of buying and selling houses.
Yeah.
And we used to work quite closely with I can't remember what they're called. It's like a property management company where I'd own the property and I'd pay them X amount per month. And any issue the tenant has, they go to them.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes it completely passive. Although I make less money because it's their plumber if they have issues, or their electrician, it gives me more time for other stuff. So I am kind of looking at that. Although it's not passive income, I'm looking at gold and silver. Mainly silver over gold right now, but in the UK, unfortunately, we have to pay VAT on silver, which I think it's ridiculous if it's a bullion quality for investment. Rather than, I do see why there's VAT on silver for electronics. Mm-hmm. But I want to see the trade deals with Canada and the United States, because in Canada and the United States, there's no VAT on silver. In the UK, there's no VAT on gold, which again annoys me. So if it's not on gold, why is it not on silver? But if we get a freedom of trade agreement, like is suspected with Canada, I'll just order Canadian silver and save 20% and have it shipped over.
It's crazy.
I've got my whiteboard up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's everything. That's everything I'm looking seriously at right now. There's a few other things that I haven't even had a chance to research yet. Mm-hmm. But like one of my friends, basically a guy I was in the Air Force with, his business, he basically buys taxis and then he has taxi drivers drive his taxis for him, and he doesn't own a taxi rank or anything like that. He hasn't got to be there taking calls and sending taxis out. He just owns the car and rents that car to a taxi driver, and he's saying, mate, I'm making a killing. So I've been looking into that, but I really don't know anything about cars to be trying that seriously, in all honesty. But there's quite a lot of opportunity out there outside of blogging.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. These sound like different ways that most people would think about to diversify, especially the taxi one. It sounds really interesting.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. But it's like hard to think that. I don't understand why the taxi driver just wouldn't buy his own car or use his own car and just keep all the money.
All kinds of like licenses and stuff, right? So I don't know nothing about taxis, but I assume you have to have a license and the car has to be checked. So maybe it's the whole headache of navigating that world of getting it checked and licensed. And some people just don't want the headache, right? They just want to get in the car and drive
and crack on. But there's definitely money to be made.
Awesome. Well, I think we've covered pretty much everything, Shaun. It's been great chatting to you.
Yeah, man, same.
Yeah, I really appreciate everything you've shared. I think it's been super insightful. If people want to find out more about you or watch more of your content, where's the best place for them to interact with you?
YouTube's probably best. I am active on Reddit pretty much daily, but I respond to every YouTube comment on my videos. So just search Shaun Mars on YouTube or Shaun M on Reddit. I don't use social media. Every now and then I get a comment saying I messaged you on Instagram months ago, and it's like, I don't even have the app on my phone. I don't even know when I logged in last, mate. So don't reach out on social media. I just don't check it. Reddit every day, YouTube every day. So that's the best ways.
Perfect. We'll put some links in the show notes through to your channel as well, so people can find you there. Awesome. Thanks, Shaun. I really appreciate your time.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the show. If you're listening to the podcast version of this episode, please subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Please rate and review, as this will allow us to grow our audience and create more shows like this one. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to be the first to know about any new episodes that we release. Until the next episode, goodbye.